Hey, what is going on, guys? So Hemoxian has been making some really super cool kits, and when I saw this, I thought I definitely need to check that out. This has to be one of the funniest, silliest model kits that I've ever seen. This is a part of their Meow, Woof Secret Service line. This is the Colaji kit, so we're going to be taking a look at this in today's video, and then they also released the Husky model kit as well, which we'll be taking a look at in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's this cute chibi dog in its little doggy mecha with cola bottles and everything. It's very interesting, and as we've seen with different Hemoxian model kits in the past, we're sure to have some really cool stuff inside here, so let's go ahead and get into it for today's video. So start off taking a look around the box before we dive into the contents inside. First of all, amazing box art here on the front. You can see the dog there in this mecha. The Colaji name, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's a mix of cola, as in like the cola kind of theme that it has going on there, and then G as in Jindo, as in like the type of dog. That's what my best guess is. But we got that really cute artwork up there, and then you can see the logo for this line, the Meow Woof Secret Service. I don't think that's an actual like comic or TV show or anything. It's just an original IP as far as I know. If this has any source material, you guys can let me know, but I googled it and all that came up was just the model kits. So anyway, yes, that is a UFO there in the background beaming up a bunch of stuff. So we kind of got a whole lot of nonsense going on with this, and I love it. The ends of the box just gonna have the same thing there, but if you go down here on the bottom, you can see we're gonna have everything here in both Chinese and in English, so you can see a little bit more about our character here. So we've got a standing and a sitting figure, it looks like. Those are going to be interchangeable, and it looks like the hats are also going to be magnetized to attach onto the head, so that's fun. Going over here, you can see some more about the mecha. It's got its cola cannon up there, so it looks like we're going to have like cola effect parts shooting out of those if you kind of exchange out the bottle cap parts. So there's some more about that. The cola machine gun there, handheld, for like a handheld weapon there for the mecha. Also got a cat teaser wand, so because it's a dog, it's got a toy for teasing cats, it looks like. Bracket and diorama base, so the display base for it, and then interactive scene, so there's the two kits together there. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. So there's a little bit more about the Colaji and the mecha right there, and then you can see just kind of the front view, everything that's going to be included here, and the back view. And that's about it here for the box. Let's go ahead and dive in, and I'm very excited to see what's in here because, as I said, Hemoxian does a really good job of including some very fun extras in their kits a lot of times. First of all, not really an extra, as this is what was obviously to be expected, but I was interested to see exactly kind of how this is all going to be packed. So we've got some of these like pre-painted, pre-printed parts here, it looks like. So like these parts here, it says dog cola, here's the cola bottles. So because they have the text printed on them already, we've got those. We've got the little magnetized hats and stuff in here. Here's the figure there. It looks like the eyes are going to be separate, like separate parts, so the eyes will be movable inside, but that's all going to be pre-painted there for us. Some of the parts in here looks to be like the hand option parts for the mecha, so these are all going to be individually packaged because they're here in this like slightly softer kind of rubber, not exactly like as soft that we've seen with like other kits. It still feels like rather hard, but not like regular plastic, almost like vinyl. Almost, sort of, but anyways, so those are looking really nice actually. And then here is the eyeball parts there for the dog. We've got a big stack of magnets that we're gonna have to put in there to use for those. Those should work very nicely. A couple of brown soft rubber hose parts that we're gonna use for some details there, it looks like. And holy cow, okay, all right, what is all this stuff? First of all, this metal piece here for the base, it looks like. So we've got like a base plate here, which is just going to be in plastic, and then this metal piece which is going to fit over the top of that, which has the Meow Woof Secret Service logo there, the Hemoxian logo. So that is really cool. We've got our little quality certificate paper in here. I still wish that these were stickers. These come in all their kits. It's just a little piece of paper there for like quality control, but I do wish that those were little stickers in there as well. That said, we do have a sticker here, a couple stickers. These are going to be in like that kind of like plastic sticker type, and there's just one for the road sign, and this other one I'm not exactly sure. I think that probably goes on the like dashboard, kind of on in the inside of the mecha. There, it looks like that looks awesome. And then for our paper bits, we've got a few things here. This looks to be, oh, okay, sort of like a breakdown of the parts. So looks like maybe for this part here for like the gun, it's using those parts from those runners. For the cannons, it's using those parts from those runners. for the stand, these parts here. That's continued here onto the other side. So just kind of letting you know which parts are going to be used for which section of the build. It's kind of interesting. Basically like a quick guide if you wanted to cut out all the parts and section them out ahead of time, kind of like how I typically build. You can just do that using this reference sheet. That's kind of cool. And then sort of like a Bandai Perfect Grade, we've got two different booklets here. One is for the actual construction of the kit, this smaller one here. And if we go here on the inside, there's a bunch more stuff, basically like what we saw on the outside of the box, information there in Chinese and in English. We've also got our parts list here, which is all in color. That looks really nice. Everything is going to be in full color, which is awesome. And then we've just got the construction of everything. So I think the small size is kind of cute. That said, I do like the instructions. I think a little bit larger would have been nice, just so that's not so straining on the eyes, having to look at these sort of small instructions. And you have the cute little chibi character kind of poking in at a couple different spots there along the way. There and there. The very end again just has some more of the product images like what we saw on the outside of the box there. That all looks good and well. But this setting book here looks even more interesting. So this is for the series, the Meow Woof Secret Service setting book. You can see there's the first couple that we've got out there, the Colaji and the Husky, but you can see there's some other characters here that it looks like might get future releases, hopefully. Those all look really fun. So different animal, you got like a pug one, a couple of different cat ones over here. So basically like dogs and cats. It looks like a little bit more of that here on the back with them as like babies. And then on the inside here, artwork. So that's the box art for the first two kits there, side by side. Okay, so the box art basically will connect to make one long art there. We've got a bunch more text here on the next page, just kind of talking about the world here. So it's basically, because this doesn't, as far as I can tell, this doesn't have any source material. So because of that, everything is here in the book. So you've got a bunch of artwork there on the next page of the characters, the mecha, more artwork here as well. It looks like maybe kind of different concepts for this, different artwork there, and of the Husky as well. So I wonder if this same book or a different book is going to be included with the Husky. Because there's a lot of the Husky included with this one, I would imagine it might be something different or might have nothing included with that. I gotta say the mecha here for the pug looks awesome. I really like the look of that. Kind of reminds me a lot of the Kuster from the Maschinenkrieger series. Sort of like that. That looks really, really cool. Definitely looking forward to that one. From the cat side over here. So this is giving us a lot of really great artwork here, kind of showing off what some of the future releases hopefully will look like. There it is with the boxes and what looks to be like a kind of a very Char Aznavour inspired helmet there on the top of the cat as well. But yeah, it's continuing on here. You can see it in like box form. And then here's what the mecha is going to look like with a duck on the front of it there. So really, really great stuff. All this artwork in here is really cool. If you saw these kits and you thought that those look like a lot of fun, very cute. I mean, the kit plus this art book, I gotta say, definitely makes it very worth it. So you can see some of like the 3D designs for that, and then some more artwork here. That's the very flavor. A couple of really cool little like comic illustrations here at the very end. There's a few more of those here. Really, really cool stuff. Love to see it. That's awesome. All right, so as for the runners, then here for the display base, here is the main base plate, and then this is actually runner K2, but it seems to be like the corner pieces here for the display, which is basically going to hold the metal sheet down there on the display base. So there's that. Runner A1 is here in this clear brown color. We've got two of this for the cola parts there, basically. And runner A2 is gonna be in a metallic red. You can see there, we also have the pre-painted text there on like the bottle cap parts there. Looks really nice. Runner B1 here in yellow. We've got two of this runner. Runner B2 also going to be in yellow. There's obviously the part there for like the eyes on the front of the mecha and the ears and all that. Runner C1 here in this light tan color for some of the larger parts of the mecha. And as you can see, it's not going to be all that large, it looks like, when it's all put together. Runner D1 then here in gray. We've got two of those. Runner D2 in a lighter, slightly bluish kind of gray here as well. Runner E1 is going to be some more of the mechanical parts here in gray on a pretty large runner there. Runner G2 here is a white runner, but you can see these couple of parts over here are painted with a very kind of dark brownish reddish color there. And lastly, runner K1 here is going to be the rest of the parts there for the display base and a couple of other parts there in black. So that's everything for the kit. Let me go ahead and get this put together and we'll check it out. Alright guys, and here's how the kit is going to look when it's all built up. Really nice size to it and just a really fun design. I love all the little attention to details in this, how you have everything just kind of fitting the theme of the overall kit. Because the build was fairly simple and didn't take all that long to put together, I think this is definitely the kind of kit, that you can enjoy as an adult, or if you have kids or, nephews, nieces, anybody who's younger maybe that you wanted to get into modeling as well. This is a cool thing that they can enjoy, which is fun to put together. It's good, solid, it's not going to like fall apart on them. And it's something obviously very cute that kids can enjoy, but I enjoy it a lot as well. And we'll go ahead and get into all the features that we have included with this, starting off taking a look through our accessories here. So first of all, for our little doggy guy in here, you can pop him out of the seat. And that's going to be our seated version here that's able to fit into the seat with that little notch there. The standing version has the tail at the back, which is going to be heart-shaped there as well. And for our actual face option parts here for this, you can actually swap the entire head. So this one that has the kind of more grinning face here with the eyebrows down, you could swap to the other body here like this for like the standing version like that. You can also swap the eyes and you can also swap the hat. So we've got our little hard hat here. And if you saw in the live build of this, you saw me put the magnets in here. There's a magnet in the head and a magnet in the hat. You put that on there so that the hat is magnetized to the head here like this. And it's the same thing for the regular hat with the little upside down W there on that. That's just magnetized to the top of the head. And the eyes are able to move around inside there. They're separate pieces. You have this like key part here. So when you open up the head, you're able to move around the eyes from the backside. The problem is the head is kind of difficult to get open. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave that like that. But you can also kind of adjust them from the front here, just kind of using your finger. Just kind of move them a little bit if you wanted to have that a little bit kind of looking down to the side there instead, something like that. And I do find them to be a little bit too loose when you're trying to put the head together. Once they're kind of in there pretty good, but getting the eyes in and then the head put back together, the eyes are just like a little bit loose in there, so it's kind of hard to keep them straight while you're going through the assembly. So it does take a little bit of effort. And then for our display base here, you've got that plastic base with that metal piece on the top with all the labeling and everything on it. That looks really cool. Now the feet also have magnets in them, so the kit will be magnetized to the base, although it's not like strong enough to like hold it up vertically like this, but it's pretty strong on there. You also have this base connector piece like this with a big magnet inside that sticks down onto there, and then this will plug into the back side of the kit. Right here, there's a little hatch that if you just remove that part out, you can plug that onto the base just for further stabilization. If you wanted to have the kit in kind of like a running pose or something where the feet aren't going to be flat on the ground, you can use that base for that. So that base is not really going to work to hold up the kit, in like a vertical, like flying or jumping pose, really, just because the kit's just kind of a little too heavy for that. But then here for the base, we do also have the pedestrian sign here with that sticker there for it. This has a magnet in the bottom and will stick onto our magnetized base here like that as well. It's kind of a simple thing, but a nice accessory to have with that. And then for our hand option parts, as we saw in the unboxing, we've got a set of closed fists, as well as peace sign hands here like so. Weapon holding hands for the left and the right side here as well. As you can see, one I've got already attached onto our weapon, which we'll come back to in just a moment. And then we've got a set of open hands. Now, unfortunately, mine came with 2 left open hands. It should be 1 left and 1 right, so I got a little bit of an error with mine. Hopefully none of you guys will also get this error, but I just kind of got unlucky in that I got 2 left open hands. But as for our main weapon here, this is really cool. I'm just going to leave the hand attached onto the grip of this. I love this for a couple of reasons. Number one, this does kind of bend down there like that, and then inside here, this is meant to be like a cola gun. You got the dog cola on there, and inside here I realized that those little parts you've got inside are meant to be like Mentos, so that's the firing mechanism here for this. It's Mentos into the Coke and it blasts out of there, so that's a really cool little gimmick. Again, just a really nice, fun attention to detail that you have with this. And attached onto the back here, you saw we have our cat teaser wand, so this can also be a handheld weapon with the D on it for dog, I'm guessing. This is just supposed to be something to tease cats in their war of cats versus dogs. And then lastly, for the cola cannons up here on top, you can remove the bottle cap, and then we've got these cola blasting effect parts here you can use to replace that there like that to make it look like the cola is shooting out of the cannons. Super, super cool. And then just to go over a few more features of the kit itself, as you can see here on the arms, for example, you have these different segments, and you do actually have a ball joint between each of those segments, but it's still going to be a little bit limited in your range of movement there for that. Basically, you can bring the arms up out to the side, you can rotate all around, but you're only going to get between like the shoulder and the wrist about 90 degrees out of the series of ball joints here all put together. Back behind the sort of cockpit here, you've got these ears. Those will move up and down there as well. And inside the cockpit is going to be kind of hard to see. You've got a lot of really nice molded detail in there, and then a sticker in there for that as well. Back here on the backpack, as it's just popped out, these rubber cords that connect from like the back into the cannons do have a tendency to pop out. They are kind of a little bit short, and I wish that they were maybe a hair longer, and then maybe just had a little bit better way of plugging into here, as they're kind of like just barely plugged in and do have a tendency to pop out. So I would maybe suggest using something different for those. If you just had like a wire or like a braided cable to go in there for those, might be pretty good. I mean, these are in the color of cola, right, is what it's supposed to be, but I think using something different might just be a little bit better, just making sure that those aren't popping out on you. You do have some rotation here between the top and bottom half of the kit, and then down here for the legs, those are just going to be attached via a double ball joint, so you've got a pretty decent range of movement here, and then kind of a knee joint and a separate joint there, kind of a backwards knee joint here, and then the feet are on ball joints as well. Nice color separation with that metallic red and white here for the shoes, looks really cool. Then back up here to the front of the cannons for a minute. You can actually completely remove these bottles from there if you want, so just having it out like that, and then once they're plugged in, you can adjust the angle of these by rotating that up and down. And then there's a little bit of a movement here with that kind of piston detail here, adjusting the angle of the cannons like that as well. And lastly then, just to give you guys a sense of the scale of this, here it is compared with a 144 scale RX-72 kit compared to a high grade. You can see it's going to be just about the same height there, obviously very different proportions, very wide, and that's going to give it a height of roughly 13 centimeters, 13, 14, just kind of depending on the angle of the cannons there. So just to wrap up the review here, guys, going to take a look at the kit in a few different poses, and I think you can probably take a guess as to my overall take on this. I really enjoy it just for the simple fact that it's so unique, and there's definitely some pros and cons in there. As I mentioned, it's a little bit too tricky to actually change out and adjust the angle of the eyes. It's a cool gimmick, but it's a little bit difficult to actually do for like the little dog guy. But then again, it's cool that that's even a gimmick at all, that you have the standing dog included as well, which also has magnets in its feet, I should say. That standing one can be magnetized to the base as well, just so you don't have to worry about it like falling over. And there are going to be a couple of seam lines like around the yellow parts, around the cuffs, like near the wrist, and then on the weapon there's a couple of seam lines there. Not really too bad, and for a kit like this, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. I think overall the seams are actually handled pretty well, and just there's a lot of attention to detail in there that I do really like. All the interior detail in like the cockpit section, and while the kit looks great just straight out of the box without any painting or anything, you can definitely see the potential if you were to go in and, you know, get rid of the couple of seam lines here and there, sand a couple of the mold lines, paint everything, paint in all the little details and everything, maybe even do a little bit of weathering in there. You can definitely see the potential for this kit, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about this. Really cool stuff in there, like with the dog cola printed on the cola bottles, even the cola caps, and on the weapon there as well. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff going on with this kit, and it's really nice. You got all that the kit has to offer, plus that cool art book included as well. I definitely think this is worth the purchase. Now, whether you want to get this kit or the Husky kit, which we'll take a look at next, it's kind of up to you. If you want to wait and check out that review, that'll be coming up next. Make sure that you guys are just subscribed so you don't miss that review as well. But if you guys want to check out either of these kits, you can check them both out at USA Gundam Store. The link will be down in the video description as always. I believe both are still in stock at the moment and definitely worth picking up, but check them out there on the website. And as always, guys, appreciate all of your support. Thanks for checking out the review. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.